Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Raising Sons podcast. This is season 4 of the podcast. And as you know, I am doing something different, doing not just audio, but video too. So if you're listening to the audio and you want to check out the video, the link is in the show notes below. All right, y'all. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. What are your plans for this new year? I have quite a few things, but not as many as I've had in the past. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. I'm laying out things this month to set me up for the year. So if you're doing the same, let me know how that's going and how that's working for you. As you can see, today I have a different background. So love to hear your feedback. Tell me what you think about the background. If you prefer the background that I've been using on the last few episodes, those have been recorded in my she shed. Today I just decided to do something different. So if you're like, I don't like this, let me know. Drop it in the comments or just let me know. Today on the podcast, we are talking about creating safe spaces for our sons. Why is this even important, right? Well, there are lots of reasons that it's important. But one of the things that our boys hear all the time is man up, just deal with it, as if they aren't human, as if they don't have any emotions. So that's one reason. But also because I don't know if you all know, but sextortion is a big thing and it's really targeted towards males because society has said, we don't share our emotions. Well, not we, boys, males don't share their emotions. So when things happen, they carry a lot of shame and they don't oftentimes let us know what's happening. And so that's how that whole sextortion ring starts to come into effect, right? They're playing video games, somebody creeps into their video game and starts blackmailing them for money or shaming them or asking them for pictures or whatever the case may be. And I know in 2021, there were 30 to 35 suicides from these sextortion, I won't even say attempts, but these sextortion things. So one of the reasons why we need to create safe space for our boys is because when things are happening to them, we need to be able to be that place where they feel like they can come to no matter what. Let's dig a little bit deeper. We know it's because, society says oftentimes the world, sometimes it could be us, right? We got to deal with our own stuff. We have to unravel assumptions as it pertains to raising boys. And so that's in chapter 1 of my book, Strong Men Start Here. But I digress. But we also have to be careful because of that narrative that society tells boys and shames them into not sharing. They fall prey to things like sextortion and other things because they're shamed into not telling because of the whole running stereotype about boys being a certain way. That is, those are two reasons, but also because our boys are dealing with a lot of things. We hear about bullying at school. We hear about a variety of different things that our sons are dealing with that if we don't have that safe space for them, they won't share. They won't tell us what's happening in real time so that we can step in and help them. How do we even create a safe space? Well, one of the things that we do is we listen by listening. We listen and we listen and we don't judge. We listen and we don't judge. What does that look like in real time? Listening is a trained skill, but it is something that you can learn to do. So it's not when our sons are telling us something that's happening to them and we immediately dismiss them, right? And it's not dismissing like intentionally on purpose, but it's going to the next thing. They start talking to us and we're like, we gotta go. Or, we'll talk about that later. Or, I don't have time to talk right now. Anything like that. It could be something as small as that. Well, that, I know it's small to us, but it's significant to them. And so, something that you might have to say is, this is what I do for my sons when we're in a hurry. Because I don't know why, but they like to talk. They want to share in the morning time when we get ready to go to school. And they already are running behind. So what I tell them is, hey, let's wait till we get in the car. I want to hear what you have to say, but let's wait till we get in the car. Or let's talk about this later in the day. Usually I don't say later in the day, but I'll say, let's talk about this in the car. Or let's talk about this. Remember what you said so we can pick this back up. And so I'll say things like that. So they know that I heard them. They know that I'm interested in investing in what they have to say, but just right at this moment may not be a good time. So we want to listen I kind of did these in reverse. So we want to listen, and we don't judge. So the other thing is sometimes as moms, I know I'm guilty of this. Our sons are telling us something and we start to say, "Oh boy, it's okay," or "Oh boy." And right then they are turned off and they're like, okay, yeah, I am not sharing anything else with this lady. And so we have to be careful about how we respond to things when they tell us things. I'm so grateful that when my older son was in middle school, a lot of the things that he told me, he could not see my facial expression because he probably wouldn't have continued to share had he been able to see my facial expression. Thankfully, he was in the back and I was in the front. So we just have to be careful about how we are expressing ourselves, the tone that we use, and we have to just be able to listen and not have any kind of rebuttal. Now, I'm not talking about them being disrespectful or using, bad terminology. My boys will say sometimes when they're trying to convey something to me, well, they use bad language. Can I repeat what they said? Yes, go ahead. And so, giving them some liberty and some grace. I kind of did these in reverse, but listening and not judging, also not being dismissive of their feelings and not, like I said, it's not always intentional, but giving them the space to be able to express and say what it is that they need to say. The last thing is being present, not just physically present, but being mentally and emotionally present. And so, okay, what does that look like? It looks like, spending time with your son. I talk a lot about car conversations, having car conversations. Oftentimes, boys don't want to just have these heavy weighted conversations just like face to face. It's easier if they're doing something. So engaging them in a task, something that they like. Maybe they're washing dishes or they're cleaning up or they're, outside. Y'all are doing something together, like walking or running. Just being engaged, physically, mentally, and emotionally engaged with them and doing something so that they feel like, okay, they're not having to think about what they're saying. They're just talking. That is one thing, having talks with them. That's why I like car conversations because we're in the car, well, now they're sitting in the front, but we're having car conversations. They're looking out the window. They might be fumbling with something. We both got to be in here, so we might as well talk. Also, not forcing them to talk. Being present means not, we're talking about this and you don't want to respond. Giving them the room, the space to be able to respond how they respond, right? One of my sons is pretty expressive. I ask him something, he'll respond right away. My other son is a processor, so he has to think about it. And so he may not give me an answer. I'll say, oh, okay, you need to think about this. And he'll say yes. Sometimes though, sometimes I forget because I am I'm quicker to respond, and sometimes I forget that he isn't, and so I have to ask him or remind myself, oh, you need more time, right? So it's not that he's being disrespectful or he's not answering; he needs time to process. And so being present, being mindful of those things, but also getting involved in what your son is involved in. I'm not saying like he plays football, you play football too. No, but maybe he plays football and you're the football mom, or he plays football and you help out with concessions, or he plays football and you're the team mom, or it doesn't even have to be a sport. It could be anything. You could join the PTO for the school that he goes to. You can, anything that he's a part of, immersing yourself in that as well so that he knows that you're there with him in it and that you want to be a part. The other thing is like, who are his friends? Knowing who his friends are, having his friends over, talking with his friends. Now, yes, no. Are they always going to around? No, but you are oftentimes the driver and the money holder and the food disperser. So in any of those three occasions, if you're in the car, if they're eating, that's a good time to interject or just, talk to them, laugh with them, things like that. And then just lastly, just hanging out with him. Hanging out with him on his terms, meaning doing something that he wants to do. If you're a mom, I like shopping. So not dragging him to the store because you like to be in the store because that's not going to go very well. But doing something that he likes to do. My younger son likes bike riding and so do I. So, we'll go on some bike rides and I'll let him choose where we're going to ride to. And then, maybe we'll sit down depending on where we're going. We'll sit down and we'll just kind of hang out. Maybe we're talking, maybe we're not. But that's being present mentally, physically, and emotionally. So creating a safe space for your son is so important. There are so many things that are going on in the world that we need to be dialed in, clued in to what's going on. And we need them to tell us when things are not going right for them in their world. We want to create that safe space. We want to be that safe space for them. And so how do we do that? We listen and we don't judge. We also don't dismiss their feelings, and we're present with them mentally, physically, and emotionally. Not just physically, right? Because you can be physically present with somebody and not be mentally and emotionally present. But we want to be all of that. We want to be mentally, emotionally, and physically present with them. We don't want to dismiss them, and we want to listen and not judge. All right, y'all. So if this episode has been helpful, please share, subscribe to the channel, tell somebody else about it. Lastly, join us if you are a mom and you're looking for a community and support as you are raising your son. The doors to Boy Mom Nation are officially open. They are open and will be open until January 31st. If you come in this month while the doors are open, you will come in as a founding member at $25 a month until you cancel your membership. Join us if you're looking for a community. I know as a mom raising sons that raising sons is different. And if you are a mom raising sons, you know that it is different. And one of the things that has been common in hosting events for moms raising sons is that when we get together, moms have said time and time again, these spaces don't really exist. And I don't necessarily all the time feel comfortable talking to other moms who don't have sons about some of the issues that my sons are going through because it's just different. If you find yourself in that space, join us in the community. Join Boy Mom Nation. The link will be below. And again, to stay connected to me, there'll be more information down below. But keep watching. Until next time.